Ken is America's Director of Inclusiveness Recruiting for Ernst & Young, where he has served in a variety of roles since joining the firm in 1990. In his current role, Ken is responsible for creating a diverse talent pool and fostering an inclusive organizational culture where all can achieve their full potential. And these are not just words on a page. EY is the top employer for the iSchool. And our alumni universally report that their workplace has a warm and highly supportive culture that promotes personal and career growth. Ken is an accounting graduate of Manhattan College. He is a past board member and international president of Beta Alpha Psi, the International Honor Organization for Financial Information Professionals. And he is a board member of the Federation of Schools of Accountancy, where he won a service award for distinguished service to the field of accounting education. Ken was selected as the Convocation speaker by our team of 2016 class marshals, and we are very honored to have him here. Please welcome Ken Bouyer.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you so much for those kind words. And wow, this is amazing. I am honored to be here, and thank you for having me here today. In addition to the things that were briefly read about my bio, who is this guy, Ken Bouyer? I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a husband. In fact, my wonderful wife and my amazing daughter, Kelsey, who's 11, is here. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I wanted Kelsey to be here to see what excellence and perseverance looks like. I want her to see role models, people like yourselves, who one day she'll be sitting here with her cap and gown, graduating. So really important to me. You know, my comments today could have gone in many different directions. As I was preparing and researching, what would I talk about? I said, should I talk about the meaning of life? Should I talk about the elements of success? Should I get that amazing book by Dr. Seuss? Oh, the places we will go. I suggest you read and reread that book, Oh, the Places You Will Go. There's some great insight in there for you graduates. But today, I simply want to talk about something very, very easy. The importance of asking questions. The importance and power of asking questions. My first question to all of you here, all of you graduates, is simply, whose shoulders are you standing on? I'll say that again, whose shoulders are you standing on? That's a powerful statement because none of us got here alone. I was at the hotel last night and I was in the elevator and one of the graduates walked in with her dad. And she had her robe and I said, congratulations. And her dad said, thank you. And I understood. He said, this is my second child I'm putting through Syracuse and I'm ecstatic. And yeah, some claps, hand claps up there. There you go. It may have been you, but his daughter turned and said, Dad, I could not have done it without you. So I simply ask, whose shoulders are you standing on? There are parents and grandparents here, nephews, cousins, relatives, folks who travel a long way to celebrate this amazing day. So whose shoulders are you standing on? And if you're on Twitter at some point later today, you can tweet me whose shoulders you're standing on and why. I actually need some more Twitter followers. I have like 2, so I could use a couple more. But back to my theme of asking questions and the importance of questions. This is not a pop quiz. I'm not going to ask you about the impact of big data on internal controls and process. No, what I'm telling you is that when you go home today and take off your cap and gown, it's going to be question time. It's going to be question time. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ken, you know how many questions I've had to answer to get to this point in my life? To rock this regalia today? I know that's what you're thinking. And it's true. During your time here at Syracuse, you had many people ask questions. Your professors asked you questions in class to teach you and challenge your thinking. Your parents asked you a lot of questions, and their questions were, are you ever going to graduate? Do you have a job yet? Can I rent out your room? Your potential employers probably asked you a lot of questions. I know our folks did for sure. You may have gotten a question like, if you could be any tool in the tool belt, what would that be? I hope you didn't get that question. I hate that question, by the way. So you've asked some questions too. You've asked questions in class of your professors to help you understand and process new information, and to actively participate in the discussion. You've asked yourself some good questions. Where do I want to go with my career? How much Red Bull will it take for me to get through class this morning? I'm sure you've asked those questions. My point is, you spent the last several years of your life asking and answering questions. It's how you learn, it's how you collect information, it's how you prove mastery of a concept, skill, and make decisions for yourself. Sometimes those questions had a right or a wrong answer. Just ask these scholars sitting behind me. Sometimes those questions were exercises to help you clarify and hone your thinking. All of those questions you asked and answered made you who you are today. They contributed to your astonishing skill and talent, to your individuality, to what makes you uniquely you. They got you a degree. How about that? Let's give it up for a degree. Maybe they got you a job, those questions, but they simply made you better. So what's the next phase of questions, and why is that going to be different for you? These next set of questions, the one you'll ask and answer from this point forward, are going to make the world better. And I do mean the world quite literally. Never before has our world been so connected, so interdependent. Technology has made this possible. And who is better equipped to leverage technology to help business, governments, economies overcome challenges and take advantage of the opportunities than all of you? But technology alone cannot make the world a better place. The greatest companies in the world aren't defined by their technology, but by the people who drive it. Because technology alone doesn't solve problems. People with inquisitive minds solve problems. You won't collaborate with a computer. You won't build a relationship with the cloud. But you will collaborate and build relationships with people, with peers, with clients, with mentors all over the world. And the transformative power of relationships for you, for the people you interact with, and for the world simply begins with questions. You're going to ask questions that have the power to transform yourselves for the better. How can I get a global experience from the desk that I'm sitting at today? What kind of mentor will push me to challenge my thinking? How can I learn from the mistakes that I am making? And speaking of mistakes, I've made plenty of mistakes in my 26-year career at ADY, a firm that I'm just thrilled to work for. I've grown as a professional, as an individual, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. My sense is that some of you will make, in fact, all of you will make mistakes along your way. I want to give you a quote that I absolutely love, and it's important. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's simply part of it. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's simply part of it. Make mistakes, learn, grow, develop, and move on. You're going to be asking questions that have the potential to transform business and the world for the better. Questions for your clients and for your future teams. How can I leverage technology to help you bring your products to market faster? How can I protect your shareholders and minimize risk? What's keeping you up at night? But you know what the most powerful and impactful questions often are? The ones that have the power to transform the world right around you. Think about it. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs and companies probably started with a very simple question. Why can't we do that? Uber comes to mind. Simple question. Why can't we do that? Why can't we deliver a service that way? Questions got us there. Questions aren't simply what you ask when you don't know. They're what you ask when you want to bridge cultures, different styles of working, diverse backgrounds, and opposing viewpoints. They're what you ask when you want to unlock possibilities, harness the power of different perspectives, drive innovation. They're what you ask when you refuse to settle for what's always been, when you want to grow, develop, and improve yourself and the world around you. Questions. In the global workplace that you're entering, you're going to need to be able to work with peers, customers, and clients from all over the world. Businesses are made up of people and not technology. So to be able to make technology work for your people, you need to build trust and build relationships with people who are just simply different, who may think differently. You're going to have to do that. Questions are a great way to do that. By the way, sometimes it's not easy to ask questions. It requires courage. You have to put yourself out there. But as long as your questions are coming from a place of genuine curiosity, honesty, and authenticity, as well as humility, you will be better for it. Having served global clients all over the world throughout the course of my career, I know firsthand the power of questions. Our firm serves clients like Google and Apple and Facebook. I can name so many I've had the pleasure of working with. But questions really help our clients and our customers. You already know how to apply technology to solve complex problems and open doors for opportunities. But it's the questions that you'll ask in the next phase of your careers that will open up the human element driving a need for technology. Those questions will also make you a better professional. They'll empower and enrich people around you. They'll ensure the success of your endeavors. And they'll help change the world for the better. Questions. I'd like to close with one of my favorite stories. It's called the starfish story. Maybe you've heard of it. And the starfish story simply goes, there was a wonderful dean walking on the beach, and the dean noticed that there were starfish littered all along the sand. And the dean began to bend down and pick up and throw starfish back into the ocean. Then a young, curious graduate saw the dean throwing starfish and said, "Dean, what are you doing? Look how many starfish are all over this beach. No matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, you can't make a difference and impact these starfish." The dean said, "Well, the sun's up, the tide's going back out, and if I don't get these starfish back into the water, they're going to die." And the student says again, "But you can't make a difference." So the dean, being very wise, simply bent down, picked up the starfish, threw one back in the water, and said, "For that one, I made a difference." If you remember nothing else about my comments, for all of you, sincerely, go out and throw starfish. Make a difference in this world, because that's what this is really about. You have tremendous opportunity ahead of you. We are all counting on you to make a difference. The folks who made it possible for you to be here, those shoulders you're standing on want you to make a difference. Make a difference. That is my question. Make a difference. And will you make a difference? Based on what we've seen and what I've heard, I know you will. Keep throwing starfish. Thank you so much for the honor of speaking. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you very much.